Hi, it's Joanne. Today we're watching Andor, Season 2, Episode 12, Jedha, Kyber, Erso. This is the final episode of this show. We know exactly where Cassian's story takes him directly after this, but this show has been, it's been special, it's been impactful. I think Season 2 even more so than Season 1. It doesn't shy away from showing the darker realities of the galaxy far, far away, and just how those reflect to the world around us that we live in the real world. I've loved and hated. I've loved every second, even though I've hated a lot of the things that were happening, but it's been done so fantastically. So excited and yet so scared to see where this goes. Reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon. And let's go to Andor for one last time.
Nothing's ending.
It's the beginning.
You're keeping Luther. You need to see the place you helped build.
She should have unplugged that the minute she heard from him. Too late. Please tell me there's a secret exit that they know to take. Yes, think about why there are no comms.
You can stop right there! Go, go, go! Slowly raise your... Hold your fire. Don't! What?
Is there another way out?
Not that we have time for.
We can still close the door.
We'll be trapped.
As opposed to what?
Kay, where are you? Kay!
He's coming. He's coming.
Stunner.
Hurry up, please, Kay.
Go! Go!
He's not stunned. Backup's here. Goodbye.
Stop right there!
You just, I mean, your boss was already dead, but
Flank! On me! Where are you? Back here!
is she okay? Like, she's just unconscious, right?
Cassian, I've cleared a path.
Is she?
TAC 5. Zone
Is
3.
she alive? Just unconscious, right?
Please. Immediately. Push
It's not good for anyone when you fail.
I assume any doubts about my value have been erased.
Ooh,
You can speed up now.
there were no doubts, don't worry.
You think I'd still be alive if I hadn't learned to bend them as I wish?
It's the Empire that's after you, Saul, not us.
If only you could fight, as well as you lie.
He's too high all the time. Mind warped.
With a stolen ship on an unsupervised mission. You can make that case. Incredible, if you'll excuse me.
Saved her life. Saved someone that helped save her life.
Look easy, doesn't it?
Comply with our specific commands will trigger immediate destruction.
I planned to tell him I was kidnapped.
Stop right there!
She's injured.
Who else is with you?
Hello.
Just us. The cover story for the manufacture of a weapon. The Energy Project.
That's hardly a secret.
Reporting what he was told.
It sounds like a paranoid fantasy.
Luthen Rail died for this.
And how has that been verified?
The
Like,
problem
I understand they can't just completely take their word
I
at
know you
face
share a lot of
value.
history. Both of you.
But it's insulting to hear him run down by people who have given a fraction of his sacrifice to this rebellion.
Enough!
He's a true messenger of good.
Mission granted.
I love how they're styling her more like she looked.
I'm doing what I can. I promise. Some bad news.
You gonna find Ethan?
He's dead, Will. He made it worth it.
It hit me all over again. Cassian's not got long left.
Gorn. Nemik. Taramin.
Cinta.
The Gormans. Ferrex. Your mother. The Darnies.
Does it matter how we twist it in? None of this exists without him. None of us are here.
Remember this. Freedom is a pure idea. It occurs spontaneously and without instruction. Random acts of insurrection are occurring constantly throughout the galaxy. The Imperial need for control is so desperate because it is so unnatural.
Manifesto from season 1, right?
Requires constant. Just keep spreading, doesn't it?
It's been hard to contain.
Something else Cassian was a messenger of.
May I have a moment to collect my thoughts?
He can fall on his own sword. Working for these corrupt fascists does not end well for you. Yeah, he knew what he was going to do. You should see what they built, what they sacrificed for.
You should reconnect with Bix.
She's safe, isn't she?
That's what I hear.
You should.
Be safe with me.
You deserve to say goodbye again, to talk again.
It's too late for that. Once this settles down, maybe.
No. You won't.
I'll think about it.
This is a parallel universe where Cassian Andor survives.
I'm not sure it'll do much good, but put this on. What you did for him, I can't imagine that was easy.
It had to be done.
It gets tiring saying that, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even really know where I am.
I have friends everywhere.
Jedha, Kyber crystal, and ISB Morlin. Luther dying to get us in motion. Now Tivik keeps calling us.
Mm-hmm. He never did find his sister, did he?
You find that amusing?
No, but you and Luthen would have gotten along much better than you think.
May the Force be with you, Captain.
Hmm. Will he ever be home to water them again? Like, how much of us rolling along into Rogue One is this going to be? Like, I have seen Rogue One. I'm not the biggest fan of... I mean, I enjoy the show, like, sad things. But because everyone died at the end of Rogue One, I never watched it again. I like, you know, like, it was too sad. It was a brilliant film, do not get me wrong. So I haven't watched it more than once. So therefore I don't remember vividly how it begins, etc. I might try and make myself watch it again now, but we'll see. Because that film might even begin with him going on this mission, I don't remember. She ended up in prison, that is fantastic. Hopefully the New Republic will know what her crimes were. Good life in prison is what she deserves. deserves so much.
There's a rumor we have a flight plan.
The ring of
Oh.
Kafrin.
Yeah, that is how the movie begins, isn't it? I don't know. I'm trying to remember.
We'll take the quick way.
Oh.
You could go again.
Oh, he's happy. Did Bix come back here? He deserved to know. He deserved to get to be there for the baby and vice versa. She knew he'd never give up, risk as much if he knew what he had to lose. And she's still dreaming that one day he'll come home and... Okay. This is... I feel almost weird for feeling so utterly hopeless and depressed right now, because we know that actually, in terms of where we are in the story of Star Wars, this is a fairly hopeful point. This is a point when the rebellion is getting its act together. They're actually kicking into gear. They're about to have their first big success against the Empire. Yes, there's some costs along the way, not even without Rogue One in mind. Where it's the beginning of the end of the Empire. This is a good time. But knowing exactly what this means for Cassian, the future he'll never have, and not even to mention, like, that is just one member of the crew I've got this attached to. Like, every single other person that dies in that film is as deserving of life as he is. Knowing how much Cassian has sacrificed and how much was taken from him by the Republic even when he was a child, and how much he deserved to have that life. He deserved to get to grow old with Bix and watch their child grow. And to know there's a world in which she didn't leave that morning. Instead, she told him she was pregnant. And they left together. And maybe the Empire wins. Who knows? Maybe some, like, how integral is one person over another? We know Cassian was extremely integral. We know Claire would be dead without him. Mothma might even be dead as well. Like, I'm not saying that he's not important. But is there a future in which he was able to go and someone else took his shoes? Who knows? He's brilliant, so maybe not. But it's very sad, and I think I really appreciate that these 3 episodes focused more on character than plot. They obviously had plot, don't get me wrong, and they got Cassian to where he needed to be for the beginning of Rogue One. But it was so... We had that beautiful episode on Claire and Luthen. And then just more of an exploration on all of the characters, checking in with them all, seeing where they are, seeing where they ended up. That moment of seeing Cassian watering his plants for the last time, wandering towards his ship, like knowing where he's going and what he's going to sacrifice, and that final beautiful shot of Bix looking at peace and happy, which is all that woman has fucking deserved after everything she's been through. But she's still thinking Cassian will come home one day, and we know he won't. That baby will hear stories of his wonderful or her wonderful dad, but they'll never know him. It's very sad, and yet, like, this is such a hopeful part of the saga. This is where things are about to start turning in the favour of the good side, and yet I feel so depressed. It was beautiful, it was fantastic. I think it makes sense that him turning up with a message from Luthen and then being like, okay, yeah, sure, Luthen's useless, we don't like Luthen, or Luthen's awful, we don't like him, we're not going to trust it. Makes sense, though I think they needed to verify the information, because even if you think Luthen's the worst, if he brings you potentially viable information, check it out. And I enjoyed, like, Mothma standing up to him. Like, it was just, all the characters just felt so true to themselves. I enjoyed how they styled Mon Mothma more, like how she's going to be appearing in the movie, etc. It's just very good. This show has been phenomenal. It's shown you, I think I saw a quote the other day that was, Andor shows you perfectly that rebellions against fascists, against governments like the Empire, against the governments in our real world, they aren't one big dramatic act. You go and you blow up the Death Star. There are 1,000 small little moments, like the manifesto about how it's happening across the galaxy. You know, they're the cleaner who doesn't mention that she saw a rebel figure running into the building, all the way up to the person that fires the trigger. Like every single person can have a part in a rebellion, big or small, and it can still matter. Whether it was that woman in the first episode at the beginning when, you know, she was her first act of rebellion and she was helping Cassian and she had to run and she was terrified, but she knew she was doing the right thing every single step of the way. It's so important. And the show's really captured that with Cassian as its heart. So yeah, I feel like I don't have many eloquent things to say because I kind of just feel like I want to go and have a little cry. I so want to rewatch Rogue One because, like I said, I don't enjoy media that kills people. Now, that with an asterisk, I do sometimes. And like there are certain shows where, or films where the premise of the film from the beginning like is that people die all the time, but when I watch those shows, I watch them from a bit of a distance. I don't get as attached to the characters. You know, The Walking Dead was kind of like that, though in the end I actually stopped watching that because I just reached the point where I was like, they're just killing everybody, and I know that's what this show does, and I'm no longer like, no, I don't want to anymore. And so like Rogue One is fantastic and it's brilliant, and part of what makes it so epically powerful is the sacrifice of it. But to me, I'm like, I watched it once. I'm gonna have to try and make myself watch it again. Maybe I'll like skip through the ending or something. But this was a beautifully told story that does justice to the beautifully told story of Rogue One. Very emotional. Yeah. Sorry, this is probably my worst review to date, but I've adored the show. I adore these characters. I would love the characters who survive, the characters who were introduced to in this, whether it's Val or Bix, their baby, Will. I'd love to see them again in another project, whether there's another thing set, you know, not in around this era, whether it's them aged up in future projects. I would love to revisit those characters, not in a sense that, oh, secretly everyone's related to each other, but just them still being around would be fantastic. But regardless, I've loved this. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.